Calvin and Zatara Spencer were an ordinary couple who defied all the odds by winning the lottery not once or twice, but 3 times in 16 days. So how did they turn spare change into over $2 million? Let's find out. Humble beginnings. Calvin and Zatara were an ordinary couple living in Portsmouth, Virginia. They had been longtime friends before they began dating and eventually tied the knot. Calvin grew up in a blue-collar household where hard work was a necessity for survival. His father was a mechanic and a strict man, while his mother worked as a school teacher. At a young age, Calvin's parents had taught him the value of money, and since it was always scarce for the family, they learned how to manage each and every dollar. They never took a financial risk or gambled anything. Zatara, on the other hand, came from a close-knit, warm family that valued education and faith over everything else. Her parents were risk-takers and often played the lottery when she was young, but they never got lucky. Zatara pursued a career in healthcare, a field that she was quite passionate about, and both of them had different life experiences, but somehow combined each other's unique backgrounds in a positive way. Over time, Zatara found herself working as a caregiver while Calvin built a stable career in sales and business development. Like many middle-class families, the Spencers had their fair share of financial struggles. They had bills and mortgage payments that often left them with no savings at all. They didn't have enough to even consider luxuries like vacations, but all they wanted to do was secure a future for their children and perhaps start a business someday. Those dreams seemed like they would never come true, that is, until they began to buy lottery tickets.
Every gambler has that one story, the time they beat the odds and hit it big. Now it's your turn to create your story and become a main character in our future videos. Welcome to Crypto Rush, where luck meets opportunity in the world of crypto gambling. Deposit crypto, play your favorite games, and cash out in seconds. Crypto Rush brings the joy and excitement of a casino to your fingertips. Click the first link in the description and start your winning streak today. Use code CR50 to get $50 free to play on slots, casino games, or the sportsbook. Crypto Rush, where legends are made. The first win. Calvin and Zatara bought lottery tickets once in a while. They were not habitual players, not that they could afford to be. They had only played when they had some extra change to spare on a good day. They both wanted a better life, and buying tickets seemed to be their best attempt towards securing the life of their dreams. And they held on to their faith no matter how impossible it might seem. Zatara was a bit more enthusiastic about buying the tickets than Calvin, who was logical and didn't want to spend money on daydreams. However, things were about to change when on the 12th of March 2014, Calvin was on his way back from work and decided to make one last stop to grab a few tickets. He would have preferred to skip the tickets, and they were against his better judgment, but he knew that Zatara was expecting him to pick them up, especially since it was Wednesday, which was their specific day for purchasing tickets. The Powerball jackpot for that night wasn't exactly a record breaker, but it was still a good sum, and as he got home that evening, he left the tickets on the counter and tried to forget all about them. Calvin was awoken the next morning by Zatara, who was screaming frantically and tugging at her half-awake partner. She had seen the tickets on the counter and was curious to know the numbers that they had gotten, and she found out that they matched the exact winning numbers except for one. This meant that the couple had won $1 million, but if they had gotten all of the numbers correctly, it would have been $60 million. It was a huge difference, but they were more than happy about their meagerly winnings. They had been playing the Powerball jackpot for years with no luck, and also knew friends and colleagues who were more consistent in buying tickets than they were, and yet none of them ever won. It was the big break they'd been looking for, and nothing could have prepared them for what came next. The couple went to claim their prize at the Virginia Lottery headquarters and were shocked at the amount of publicity that they received. Overnight, they became celebrities, and their lives were going to be different from that point on. During an interview, they were asked if they were going to keep playing the lottery, and Calvin, who was more prudent with money, quickly voiced that he never intended to play any further and that he was hanging up the gloves. The couple gave each other a nervous look, which showed that there may not be 100% truth in that statement. They walked away with approximately $680,000 after taxes, and the case became one of the most peculiar in the history of lottery winners because of what happened next. Most people would go their entire lives without winning the lottery, but some lucky ones do win at least once. However, for this couple, lightning was about to strike twice in the same spot, winning the second time.
Things were looking up for the couple who had won their first $1 million Powerball prize, and they were still adjusting to the surreal reality of being winners. They'd also been on television, so everybody knew who they were and would congratulate them or even ask to take pictures. The media had picked up their story, and friends and family celebrated their good fortune, and everything seemed to be going great. 2 weeks had passed by, and despite the excitement, they had not lost the simple habit that led to their first win. They still had their ticket days and remained faithful to the tradition. On one of those days, Calvin would visit his regular convenience store and pick up a few tickets, where this time, with no expectations, he just wanted to relive a part of the past that had been significant in acquiring the abundance they now had. Calvin decided to try something different. He went for a Pick 4 ticket, a popular daily game, where players select any 4-digit combination and place a bet. Unlike the Powerball that required a player to match the drawn numbers as they come, this one had the option of getting them in any order, which was a lot more flexible. You also had the option of repeating numbers, which increased the difficulty level as the probability of getting a particular combination became more broad. Pick 4 had a much smaller payout than the Powerball, but still offered a chance at winning a significant amount of cash. The couple had played casually in the past, mostly choosing numbers that meant something special to them like a birthday or an anniversary, but they always had no luck. At some point, they even tried random numbers, but to no avail. On March 24th of 2014, Calvin chose numbers that meant absolutely nothing to him. There were no premonitions, no signs of any sort. He just said, "This is stupid, but let's go with all 6s." Now, here's where things get crazy. Not only did he pick a quadruple number, which was extremely rare, but he also purchased 10 identical tickets with the same exact sequence. In case you don't understand that, he had bought a ticket with a rare quadruple combination and decided to buy 10 tickets with the exact same numbers. Each of those tickets would cost $1, and when the number combination was drawn, each one would win $5,000. It meant that the potential winnings for the entire 10 tickets would be $50,000. Calvin then stashed them inside of his wallet and went home, and when Zatara saw the number combination, she couldn't help but laugh and think that they'd just wasted $10. That evening, the numbers would be announced, and this time the couple didn't have to grab the tickets to confirm them. They were already embedded in their memory. Not only did they win, but every single ticket was a winner because of it. The couple had done it once again on a much smaller scale, but it was still an incredible win. The next day, they made their way to the headquarters to cash in their tickets, and once again were met by an eager media team who wanted to know exactly how they did it. Winning a single ticket would be crazy enough, but having 10 tickets with the same number and that combination be winners was completely extraterrestrial, all in a space of 2 weeks. When asked about the incredible luck, Calvin simply laughed and replied, "We're not done yet." What did that even mean? Was there more to come? Were these two lovebirds getting ready to cash out a third time? What happened next would shock the world and remained a mystery to this very day. The hat trick. On March the 28th of 2014, 2 days after the couple cashed out a $50,000 Pick 4 jackpot, they decided to continue with their ticket purchasing tradition. Winning the lottery twice in a month was already too much to ask, and many people would just let things go. But not this couple. It wasn't greed, but more like a lucky feeling. But that's the thing about luck. Sometimes it rolls over, and if you keep on trying, what started as a lucky day turns into a lucky week and then a lucky month. Calvin stopped by a gas station to purchase tickets, and one particular game would catch his eye, the $100 million cash extravaganza. It was a premium scratch-off game that cost $20 each, with a grand prize of $1 million. Calvin had never played the lottery with so much momentum in a single month, and as he got into his car, he decided to scratch the ticket right there and get it over with, rather than delay the inevitable. He mindlessly scratched at the ticket, revealing the numbers, and for a moment he was frozen in time. How was this actually possible? The numbers on the scratch-off exactly matched the winning numbers with a $1 million prize underneath. Calvin rushed home and broke the news to his wife, and for the third time in a single month they had won the lottery, this time in just the space of 2 days. It was the most incredible thing anyone had seen in lottery history, and the next day, the couple made their third trip to the lottery headquarters, and by that time it was almost as if they worked there themselves. Lottery officials were shocked and thrilled at the occurrence. They were now actual celebrities with historical significance and collected their winnings and exited in style. In the space of 16 days, they had won a total of $2,050,000. Life after winning the lottery. The lucky couple played it safe, and to avoid leaking their lifestyle or giving critics something to talk about, they stayed away from the media. With their winnings, they paid off their debts and helped family members. They remained smart with their expenses and were never extravagant. According to media, the couple invested in real estate, savings, and long-term wealth strategies, and as crazy as their story was, they did not become public figures. They simply lived a quiet life and continued on playing the lottery, but with a more relaxed approach. Their luck defied all the laws of probability, and it's proof that a single decision can change your entire life. Be sure you subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.